Hey everybody, welcome to episode 5 of Golf News RI, the podcast. I'm Joe Calabro. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. You can see all the previous episodes on the website, golfnewsri.com. If you're really ambitious, you can search for it on YouTube. But golfnewsri.com is your best bet. And super excited to be joined by Lee Khang for episode 5. He is the father and coach of LPGA Tour star Megan Khang, who's currently number 12 in the world. Lee, thank you so much for taking the time. I know you guys have an incredible story, so really looking forward to get into it. But thanks so much for
My
taking some time
pleasure.
to come on. So it's more of a coincidence than anything. I don't want to give myself too much credit. But this Saturday is actually National Girls and Women in Sports Day, and for you, obviously, Megan is your daughter. Megan is a pro golfer. What a on this particular day, with this particular day coming up, what a wild ride you guys have been on. You and your family have been on, and now you get to watch your daughter as a pro golfer. It's got to be pretty incredible.
It has been a very, very exciting adventure ever since you're junior golfers. There's been a lots of up and down, but it's just like golf. So, I wouldn't trade for anything.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll get into to Megan and her golf, and obviously had a big win last year, and has done a number of incredible things just in her short-ish career. I mean, she's kind of a veteran now, but
Yeah.
still shortish career at this point. But you guys' story is incredible. You came over to the U.S. from Laos during the Vietnam War. And the fact that you got here is is amazing kind of to
Yeah.
begin with. But
Yeah.
what do you remember about, being, you came over as a refugee? You left in the middle of the night. You can tell a story better than I am,
Yeah.
obviously. But what do you just remember about that time period? I mean, do you remember specific days or I mean, I know you were really young, but what do you remember about that incredible time? Or maybe not incredible, maybe not incredible time, but um, what do you remember about that time?
It's kind of difficult because I don't know if a lot of it is what I remember or a lot of it is what I dreamt. But I definitely remember being scared because of the gunfire going off and light in the distance like a firework, but it's actually grenades and tanks and everything being fired, every which way. In the middle of the night, my family packed up and crossed the Mekong River to Thailand. And like I said, when we got there, the Thai people goes, "We don't want you guys there," so they put us in a refugee camp. And from there on, we all just waited for a sponsor from America. And we were very fortunate that we got sponsored by a very great couple of great people from Newton, Mass. And we came over in sometime in April of 1976.
And that's how you ended up in Massachusetts of all places.
Yes, which is,
Um,
worked out perfect because it's got 4 seasons. Beautiful.
yeah, no, the New England
Yeah.
is a great time. Not so much with the snow. I could do without the snow, but it's a great place. From your early days of being in the U.S. until obviously now, what do you remember about being here, growing up here? What are some of your early memories of being in the U.S.?
Uh, remember, well, I was very fortunate. I grew up in Brookline, Massachusetts. And obviously, it's a very wealthy town.
Mhm.
But like I said, being on welfare and everything, I had friends that were very well to do. So it was a lot of fun. I don't remember them judging me or looking down on me because we were poor. I just remember having a lot of fun. So growing up, I was able to do, like I said, I was able to do a lot of stuff that most people can't do. So I remember growing up, I said to myself, if I have kids, they gotta have fun. Part of growing up, part of being a kid is having fun. And without fun, there's really, I mean, you want them to discipline, but you also want to enjoy life as you go along. Because I had a great childhood, so that's fun.
Now I'm just now if you ever wanted to, could you ever go back to Laos to see your kind of early childhood, or you can't go back?
We can go back. The closest I've been to is Thailand, which is like literally across the river. Because for my first 2 years on Megan's first 2 years on tour, I caddied for her, so we've been to Thailand a couple of times. Uh, I really don't have the desire to go back because I mean, my parents are dead. Most of my extended family, I have no idea who they are. So, and like I said, I'm in a position where there's so much poverty there that if I go there, there's really not much I can do. And like I said, it kind of saddens me to see all that stuff. So, but like I said, from where I'm at, I don't have the desire to go. And I don't want to, a lot of people go there and they go on vacation, they play rich and all that stuff, but I'm not, I just can't do that. When I know that people left and right from me are starving and scrapping for food, so.
Amazing, incredible story. But you said you've been to Thailand, so you certainly have memories of being in Thailand. That was obviously a big part of your journey here. So it's probably close enough, like you said. It's probably as good as you want to, close as you want to get.
Yeah, well, one of the funny stories when we were in Thailand, we were getting bused to the golf course and through the streets of Thailand. I said to my daughter, I said, Megan, realize how fortunate you are because you're getting police escort, five-star hotel to the golf course and back. You're never in danger. As you see those shed out there with no AC and no running water, people live in there. And she's like, no way, Dad. I said, yes, I promise you. People live in there. There's no AC, no running water. And what are you doing? You're being treated like you're God. It's unbelievable how fortunate you are to play the game of golf, and you're treated like you're God. I mean, it's be appreciative because this could end any time. But until then, just understand that you are so fortunate compared to so many people. We are fortunate. So just to let her know the highs and the lows, like everything else in life. I mean, she's able to see some of that, so it's great.
And speaking of golf, so I was watching an interview with Megan on the UKG podcast, which is one of her sponsors. And I don't know when it was taped, but it was posted a couple days ago. So, anyway, she was talking about you and how you got her into golf and how you took up golf kind of around the year. She said it was around the year 2000 or
Yeah.
so. For you, what drew you to golf? What was it about golf that you said, "Hey, I'm gonna pick up this crazy game and see what happens." What drew you to golf?
Well, it was a mistake. It was in 2000, me, my younger brother were ready to go practice soccer because we had a family soccer team. And it was raining, so we couldn't go and practice soccer. So my brother says to me, hey, do you want to go hit golf ball at the range? And I said, well, it's better than sitting here doing nothing. So I went to the range with him and I came back and it's so hard. And I came back to my home and I said to my wife, I'm gonna learn how to play golf and it kills me because that game, the stupid game is so hard. And I'm never to back up from anything that's hard in my life. And if I do it, I'm gonna do better than everybody else. I don't care if it kills me. She's like, okay, do whatever you want. And from there on, I stopped playing soccer. I stopped playing tennis with my wife. I stopped playing volleyball. I just focused on golf every single moment I had. And then that was Megan was 3 years old. And then when Megan turned 5, on the weekend, I'm pretty much gone. I mean, from morning to darkness. My wife's like, "Where did you go?" I said, "Play golf." And when Megan's 5.5, my wife said, "Hey, you have a kid, buddy." I said, "Oh yeah." So I said, "Okay, that's fine." So I said to Megan one day, "Hey, do you want to go drive the golf cart for Dad?" And she's like, "Yeah." She said, "Okay, tomorrow after school, we'll go drive golf cart. But you can't drive 1 and 9 because we do this 9-hole golf course in Brockton. But after that, you can drive." She said, "Okay." So I made her a set of clubs, and then we go to the golf course. And like I said to her, "Do you know the difference between the fairway and the rough?" She's like, "Dad, I'm not dumb." So okay. After that, I'm gonna put a ball next to my ball. If you hit it in the rough, Dad drive. If you hit it in the fairway, you keep driving. And guess what? Every day, she's always driving because she's so determined to drive the golf cart. She didn't even care about golf. So every day I come home, she's like, "We're going to drive the golf cart?" Of course we are. So that's why I got her hooked. And then eventually, like I said, she got a bit older, and I found out that there's a lot of scholarship for golf. And I'm like, oh my God, all you have to do is play golf and get a free school education. That's unfreaking believable, right? So, I entered some U.S. kid stuff, and she did pretty well. And then I did one event down in Virginia U.S. Kids, and we met a very nice gentleman, and his name's Kevin Hammer. He's actually the president of the USGA, I believe. They're out of Florida, great guy. And after we played the tournament, he came up to me and said, "Can I tell you something?" I said, "Please." your daughter is really gifted. I come from a family of golfers. My grandfather's a professional golfer. My dad's a professional golfer. I play golf for Florida. I'm in the golf business. Just keep it fun. She's phenomenal. She's gonna do great things in this game. And like I said, I'm new to the game. I have no idea, but I just said thank you. I guess appreciate it. Thank you. And then we just kept playing golf every day. That's it.
She talked about in this podcast I watched, she talked about how, it was a little, I don't want to say a battle, but between, going to college because she had opportunity to go, I think she's to Wake Forest, or just kind of turning pro. And obviously she ended up turning pro and going to Q school, turning pro. But from a parent's perspective, what was that sort of conversation like? Like, okay, you go to college, or you just try to go pro? Because a lot of people, a lot of parents, I mean, sure, would want their kid to go to school, at least, because the whole college thing. And
Yeah.
but you guys ended up letting her just turn pro. What was that? What was that whole conversation like?
I mean, it was really simple but before that conversation happened, we were very fortunate to meet a lot of people. We played U.S. Open with practice on Lexi Thompson down in Pinehurst, #2, when Megan was 16,
Mhm.
and we met when we played with her. I got pretty friendly with Lexi's father, and we had a conversation. And he was 100% right. He's like, listen to me. I'm out here for a while now, and I know the talent out here. Your daughter's 16 years old. At 16, she's already better than 50% of the LPG players out here. In 2 years, she's gonna get better. People's gonna tell you what's good for her. They don't know how good she is. They don't know who you are. They're not her shoes. Let her make her own decision. I promise you, in 2 years, if she wants to, she can come out and play golf. I mean, like I said, I'm still not aware of it, how
Right.
good she is. I'm just listening to people and advising people. So that was great. And that kind of helped me understand how good she is. And on top of that, she had a tournament out in Vegas where uh, they invited the two best girl from the east of Mississippi to against the two best girl from the west of Mississippi, right? And and she met with Butch Harmon, and Butch gave her a 10-minute lesson. And Butch says to her, "Who's your coach?" And she's like, "My dad." She's like, "Oh my God, you guys have done an amazing job." And Megan's like, "Okay." He said, "You're good enough right now to play in the LPGA, but they won't let you because you're only 16 years old. But you will, if you want to, in 2 years, you can walk right into LPGA and play golf if you want. That's how good you are." He said, "A girl shouldn't be able to compress the ball the way you do." He says, quote, "If I turn around and just listen to hit the ball, I would think Tiger's hitting a damn golf ball. That's how good you are." And Megan's like, "Whatever." She's like, "Whatever." And so, like I said, because of all these people, and even when the only college we visited was Wake Forest. When we visited Wake Forest, the assistant coach, whose wife was on the LPGA Tour, right off, and he was really honest. He said, "Megan, you are good enough to play on tour right now. There's nothing we can do for you in golf, but we can give you the connection, give you a degree, backup plan, all that stuff if you want. That's what we can offer on the table for you. Other than that, golf, you got it. You're good enough." And the head coach was like, "Are you kidding me? I waited for 5 years for this girl. You just let her know what the hell?" And she was ready to kill him, but he was very honored. So that year, the following year when she graduated at 17, she says to me, "Dad, what do we do?" And I said, "No. What we do? What do you do?" It's like a golf shop. What do you do? Whatever you want to do. I've done. I promised your mom I was going to give you a full scholarship, and I was done at 12 years old. I did my job. Whatever you decide, I'm 100% behind you. I promise you, I'll support you. But there are a couple conditions. If you go to Wake Forest, you go 4 years. You do not leave school early. I don't care because one, I know they're gonna catch your golf swing. It's gonna go literally hayward. So two, I want that backup plan degree, and the people you meet is gonna be great. So that's my only thing. If you go, you finish it. You do not leave. I'm not taking you to Q school afterwards. And you decide. And she looks at me and goes, "Oh my God, you're gonna make me make the hardest decision of my life." I said, "That's what life is all about. That's all about being an adulthood. So you decide, and what you want to do, you do it." And she said, "Okay, give me a few days." So in a few days, 3 days later, she comes and say, "Hey, Dad, I know what to do." I said, "Yeah, what do you want to do?" I said, "I'm gonna call the coach and tell her, I'm only 17. I'm going to take a gap year and go to Q school. And these are the conditions. If I don't go through all three stages, I'll go to wait for 4 years. But if I go all three stages, I'm going to go play golf. So fair enough, because we don't want to play absolute tour. You know, I want you to go, I mean, some match or whatever. I want you to go out to big tour. So fair enough. So the coach said, well, it's not like we have a choice. He waited for 5 years for 1 more year. You know what I mean? So long story short, we went to Q school, 350 girls. First stage, finished second, only because she threw part of the last hole. She's tied for the lead out of 300. Second stage, couldn't hit the side of the ball, finished third. Third stage, three par five. She made doubles on all of them and finished 6 out of 20. And from there on, she's never looked back. So it's been a very, very adventurous but exciting, and like I said, pinch me, check me this reality kind of life so far. So it's great.
So what's interesting to me, or probably to a lot of people, because a lot of parents probably coach their kids at some level, but you're her coach and you're also her caddy for at least the first couple of years on
Yeah.
tour. So what was that relationship like? I mean, because you're a coach caddy, but you're also dad, and we see a little bit now on the PGA Tour with Justin Thomas and his dad. He kind of tells kind of the ups and downs of it a little bit. But what was that like for you guys? What was that? You know, 'cause you're balancing kind of two different jobs in some ways. So what was that? At least for the
It,
early years, perhaps
I mean,
it's
it,
different
it
now, but
was it was definitely difficult at times, but like I always say to people, listen, life isn't all good. Life is good and bad. It's but in our life, in our family, in our situation, the good outweighs the bad. If you're lying to yourself, you think every relationship, father, daughter, husband, and wife is all good because that's not reality. Why do you think they have yin and yang? Because the good and bad, it's got to be. The secret is balancing it out. The secret is understanding that. Listen, when you argue and you let it go. There's no holding on to it because holding on to it is faster. And with me and my daughter, I always teach her, listen, be mad, be very mad, cry if you have to, if it's helps. But whatever it does, you gotta let it go once it's done. There's no holding on to it because holding on to it, we're gonna create a lot of bad environment around our family. So she knows me. I get really angry fast, but I also very sane when I'm angry. I don't break things. I may say things that's hurtful. And that's not, I'm not gonna lie to you. My wife said, you have the worst mouth on earth. I said, yeah, don't piss me off. That's all it is. Be smart. Think before you talk. That's all I care about. Okay. And I mean, it wasn't all fun, but definitely way more enjoyable than I can ever imagine. You know what I mean? And I get this, like I said, I tell people, listen, I've been around to every corner of the world. Why do I want to travel anymore? I'm sick of traveling. I just want to stay home and play golf. Teach golf. Well, let's teach a little bit of golf and play golf every day. That's it. That's my dream for the rest of my life.
what were some of the as far as touring goes? I mean, what were some of the early challenges? She talked about how she made friends on tour, so she was helped out a little bit as far as like I guess where to go, what to do. What were some of the early challenges for her and for you guys, kind of on tour and trying to figure it all out?
It was definitely hard because, obviously, I mean, from her perspective, I'm sure she wants to hang out with her friends, but she don't want to leave me alone. And I always tell her, listen, don't worry about me. You do whatever you want to do. I'm okay. I'll find my own food. I'll be fine. Do not worry. Just, even that, I know she's so much like me, and she's a lot like her mom, who's very caring. So she's always concerned about me. But I said to her, listen, I promise you, I'll be fine. And I mean, it was difficult in the beginning, but then she got a little bit better at it. And like I said, it's really funny because in life, because people actually see talent, like a lot of the veterans. I mean, when the first couple of years, and she met a lot of people like Christy Kerr, Suzanne Patterson, Michelle Wee. These are big names that don't really latch onto people unless they're really really good. And a lot of time, these people, Stacey Lewis, they drawn to her and they were very nice to her, so it made her life very easy on tour.
Yeah, awesome. Uh,
Yeah.
incredible journey. Last year she won for the first time up in Canada, I think Vancouver specifically. She won a tournament. For you, I don't know if you were there or you watched it on TV, but just take us through the emotions of that whole experience. I mean, I know she entered the final round with a three-shot lead, ended up going to a playoff, and she won obviously in the playoff. But what were the emotions like? What was the nerves like watching that? I don't know if you were there or not, if you watched it on
Oh
TV, but
no.
what was
So
that? What were the
yeah,
emotions like?
in this house, when she's playing, we don't watch because my wife can't stand it. So she
Oh
won't let me
wow.
watch. So I usually go out and play golf and kill time and do whatever. We'll go shopping just to look around. And that when she won, we didn't even watch. So we're home. It's about 9:15 or so, and my phone dinged. They said, "Oh my God, what a!" One of my friends said, "Oh, what a great shot by Megan." So I'm like, "Oh God, what the hell?" So I said, "What the hell's going on?" So I opened up my phone. I looked at the score, and I said, "Oh shit!" Right? I said to my wife, "Oh my God, she's not gonna win. She's down one, going to 18. It's over." You know. And I'm like, and I looked at it, and it says, I guess on the score in the phone, they're like a little behind. So it says Jin Young Ko is on 17 and Megan's on 17 too. And I said, that's not possible because they're in a different group. So I said to my wife, I'm turning the damn TV on. She's like, oh God. So remember, we haven't watched all day. I'm blown up inside. I'm so curious to see what the hell is going on. And then we turn on TV, and now she's got to make a 6 footer to push a playoff. We're like, are you kidding me? If she misses, I'm just gonna drop dead. You know what I mean? So we're like, are you kidding me, right? So we're like, oh God, this is. I mean, all day. I've not turned on TV, not looked, nothing. She had an awesome shot in there. Now she's got to make the putt. Oh God! Sure enough, she goes through a routine and she makes it. We're like, oh, now she got a playoff. And she, we go play off, and she, long story short, she ended up winning. And my wife and I, like, we were like, for a while we were like numb. We're like, oh my God, this is too much. We're gonna die one of these days. They're gonna come home one day. The police gonna show up and we're like two dead bodies. What happened? Two heart attack. But it was so funny because after she did the PR and everything, we talked to her. She's like, yeah, I kind of peaked a little bit and missed a couple of short putt coming in. And coming around 18, I said, I got a birdie, I got a birdie, I got a birdie. And I just said, I'm walking on the fairway and I said to myself, I can tie anybody, just not Jin Young Ko. Okay. And she looks up and it's like, sure enough, she's like, are you freaking kidding me? It's Jin Young Ko. And then she said to her caddy, I don't care. I'm not losing today. She said to her caddy, I'm sick and tired of losing. I'm sick and tired of coming up short. We are going to win today. And long story short, that's what she did. So it's so funny. She's like, oh my God, it's too funny. But it's definitely, like I said, people, I do not watch. I mean, I have to watch when my wife's not around because I'm her coach, and I can just literally watch her make one swing and text her and say, "Hey, you're doing this wrong," and she can fix it. So I mean, I enjoy watching, but it's also very painful.
Well, when you're watching as her coach and her dad, what do you look for? Like, what do you look for in her golf swing that you can pick up, right away or after a few clips? What do you look for in her golf swing when you watch?
Well, like I said, a lot of people don't know golf is so hard under pressure, especially
Mhm.
the kind of pressure they're playing under. I just need her to commit to the shot and finish the swing and deal with the result later. Whatever the result you have, if you commit to a stroke or a swing, I can live with it. It's the lack of commitment or it's the not going through the ball and all stuff. That's when bad things gonna happen. So a lot of time I just tell listen, we just need to finish the swing and be fine. You know what I mean? Be committed. Your short game's amazing. Missing the green's not a big deal for you, but I don't want you to steer it. I don't want you to try to guide it. Just go, 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 go. Be committed. That's all I care about. So a lot of time, I know the pressure she's under. So a lot of time, I just reinforce her and just listen. We got to get to the left side, okay? No matter what happened, and especially the putter. We got to release that putter head. Don't hold on to it.
Yeah. I made notes of all those things so I can keep track for my own golf my own golf game, which is terrible.
Yeah.
So will you guys go to TBC Boston this year when the LPGA Tour comes, or you won't go watch?
Oh no, we'll go there. Like I said, we're probably gonna go to Solheim because it's in DC, and then US Open's in Pennsylvania. So usually we go to the big event because, like I said, that's where the big money is, and you're gonna bring your coach, and it's funny because everybody brings in their team,
Mhm.
their marketing team, their sports psychiatrist, blah blah blah. And I said, Megan, we three of us is your team. That's it. You know what I mean? I'm your sports psychiatrist. I'm everything. Don't worry about it. And a lot of times she's like, yeah, I know. My dad said, just get your head out of your butt and go play golf. It's not that complicated. She'll tell you, it's like, yeah, my dad's my sports psychiatrist. Stop being stupid. Just play golf.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's good. Good advice. Good advice.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, we tend to make things more complicated than it really is, especially in golf, you know.
What's your own golf game like? What are you either the reigning club champion at wherever you play? What's your own golf game like? A lot of
Well,
pressure on you?
I'm here we're here in Rockland at Harmon, and they haven't let me play the club champion in the last 5 years because I won it a few times, and because I teach golf, they're like, it's not fair. He's a pro. I said, no, I just teach golf. I'm not. So I'm okay. I mean, like I always joke with people, it depends what we play for and how much money we play for. If we play for a coffee, I'm not that great. If we play for $100, I might focus a little harder. But like I said, I don't really keep an index, but I tell people I don't play to an index. I just play to a zero. So it's fine.
When you're teaching golf, uh, because I've talked to I was te golf pros teaching pros and everything, and I think it's interesting. What are the most common things that you see in your students, to for lack of a better word? What are some of the most common mistakes or common habits that you see in the people that you work with?
98% of people really don't know how to swing a golf club.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's the game of golf is so contradicting, it's so opposite that what people perceive is really incorrect. So a lot, and even like I said, a lot of the teaching is incorrect because the human brain or power it tells you to do something when you shouldn't be doing it, especially in the game of golf. And a perfect example is Megan's only 5'1", if that, right? And she's able to hit out there as far as most, would say 70%, 80% of the girls on tour. Why? Because it's about leveraging. It's about understanding how to use momentum and gravity. It's not about brute force. And 9 out of 10 times, people don't know how to how to swing the golf club correctly, so they're not fundamentally sound. When they play around with their friends, they get away with it because you practice something bad long enough, you get away with it. But under pressure, you will not survive. So just having the idea of fundamentally what the golf swing should be like is the key. And
Right.
and a lot of people don't have that fundamental. That's the key. And like I'm very, very big on fundamental. You know what I mean? Like a few years ago, I went to a golf show in Boston, and some guy walked up to me and said, "Hey, you're Lee Khang, Megan Khang's coach. Everybody's a freaking golf pro coach. What makes you different?" And I said, "You know what? I love the question. Thank you. I'm my answer. Everybody teaches people to hit a golf ball. I don't teach you to hit a golf ball. I teach you to make a move that hits a golf ball, and that's what you got to learn how to do. The movement is like hitting a baseball. You don't think of hitting a baseball. You just make a turn because the ball's coming in 95 miles per hour. If you think about it, it'd be too late. You know what I mean? So there's no difference. You gotta learn how to create a movement that the golf ball is gonna get hit. And the problem is 90% of people want to hit the golf ball, so the club head gets to the ball too soon. You know what I mean?
Interesting. I mean, the golf swing is a fascinating thing, for
Yes.
sure. And there's so many different parts to it that you don't even think about. And obviously, the
Yep.
mental game is uh is the biggest thing in golf. I think like Jack Nicklaus has said that golf is the game of like 6 inches,
Oh
the
yeah.
6 inches between your ears, something along those lines.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I always tell when I get a new client, a new student, I always tell parents, listen, I'm going to teach them how to hit a golf ball, make a movement and hit a golf ball. When they can hit the ball wherever I tell them, however far I can, or I let them they can, then I will teach them how to play golf because the two are not the same. You know what I mean? And they look at me like, what the hell are you talking about? I said, because being at the range, there's no pressure. And it's wide open, there's no consequences. You get to the first tee, you see water left, water right. You start thinking you're dead. No, Megan doesn't think that way. Megan was up there and I said, down the middle. She said, okay, Dad, boom, down the middle. She said, I don't give her time to think about all the other stuff because her golf swing is so repeatable. Like, for instance, the playoff. She hit the same shot on the playoff. She said, Dad, I was literally 2 inches from my old divot. Yeah, because she made the same movement. The other girl, I mean, as good as she is, she yanked it because the pressure. I mean, remember, this girl's phenomenal, Jin Young Ko. But even that, she still yanked it because even that, I always tell Megan, your fundamental is so much better than everybody else. So if you stick with it, you'll be fine. So that's one of the reasons why a lot of people don't succeed. So many young kids, that I've seen come through, and parents like, "Oh, my kid's gonna go on tour," and I look at the swing and say, "It's not gonna work under pressure." And look at me like, "You're crazy." I say, "Okay, I may be crazy, but we'll see." You know?
Yeah, uh, absolutely. Um, so as I mentioned, and then we'll let you leave. Let's get out of here. I'm sure you have better things to do, but it is National Girls and Women in Sports Day on Saturday coming up. For you, as someone who's kind of lived through it, and we have a lot of girls in Rhode Island, and probably I'm sure in Massachusetts who are playing golf at a high level in high school. Maybe they're going to college. Maybe they're trying to get to the next level. But what advice would you give them, just in general, uh, as far as what to look for, or what to do, what not to do? What advice would you give young girls out
But
there trying to
but
to make it in some way or another?
but I always say, listen, don't ever stop trying, and I'll never stop from trying. But do not be loyal to a coach to a fault. If you can't surpass, you can't get better than you are after a year or two, move on. Because always don't be afraid to seek out different ideas, different people. Because if any coach that doesn't, I guess, marry you or don't not happy for you to seek out better help, then they're really not in your best interest. I always tell all my students, listen, if it doesn't work and my message not getting clear, move on. It's okay because I want the best for you. And don't ever stop chasing your dream because it can happen. I mean, honestly, people ask me, you move, you quit your job, you start your business to make it on a tour. No, I didn't. Our only goal was to get her a full scholarship. Everything on top of that was just bonus. You know what I mean? And like I said, we were very fortunate. She got it when she was 12 years old, and she had that in her back pocket, so she wasn't stressing about college. I mean, so all we did was our goal was just to go to college. That's the goal. Don't reach for this. I mean, you want to reach for the star, but take baby steps. Don't then don't get if you start winning at U.S. kids or high school, don't get ahead of yourself because that's not as even though that may be good, just be careful because when they start thinking you're good, you won't work as hard. I always tell Megan that people that tell you're good are bad. Good players don't tell good players they're good. They show respect. Game recognizes game, but they don't put you on a pedestal. Now, people that put you on a pedestal are not very good, I promise you. That's why they think you're really good. I don't think you're good. I think you're okay. But there's always room for improvement because once you stop thinking or start you believe in that hype, you're done.
It's golf. There's always everyone's trying to improve. Everyone's trying
Yep.
to tinker with things. Even some of
Mm-hmm.
the amateur players that I cover here in the state, they're always tinkering with things. They're always trying to get better. And these are people that are plus handicaps, plus three,
Yep.
plus four, whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at them like, your shot looked pretty good to me. And they're like, no, 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 it was wrong. This was wrong with it. I'm like, all right, sure,
Yeah.
whatever. But anyway, the point is, yes, people are always trying to. It's really amazing. That's why golf is amazing, right? Is
Yeah.
there's always
Mm-hmm.
no one's ever perfect. No one's ever figured out. No one's ever figured out the game. No one's ever mastered the game, so to speak. Even though it seems like some of these people have, but no one will ever say they mastered the game. Even Tiger never said he mastered the game.
You
Uh,
can't.
right. Absolutely, Lee. Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate
With
it.
pleasure.
Good luck to Megan the rest of the season. Obviously, we'll be following. Hopes to see her in Boston in a few months. Well, not more than a few months, but in late August. I
Yeah.
know there's a lot in between there. The U.S. Open, um, and other things. Potentially the Olympics coming up. Which I think she said she's inside the cut right now for it. So obviously long season ahead. She's off to a good start. But thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate you taking the time, and again, best of luck to Megan, yourself, and your family for the rest of the season.
Appreciate it, Joe. Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon. Anytime you need
Absolutely.
anything, just give me a call.
I will. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Okay.
That's Lee Kang, the father and coach of Megan LPGA Tour star Megan Khang. This is Golf News Are the podcast. We'll talk to you next time.